Hello everybody, my name's Singlpyr and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. Now today, Joffy isn't playing act out, but flip, I forgot my sign again. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. So, oh gosh, wires. Go away, wires. Okay, dokie, so let's get right into this. So today, as promised, I'm going to be doing the escape corridor ending. If it even is an ending. If we have time, I'll be showing you a little something that I found out a little bit of time ago. So yeah, also leave any suggestions as to endings or instructions or things, but please no spoilers in the comments below. Things I should do. So yeah, please do that. That'd be really useful, so I could find some more things to do. There is one thing. It kind of has some other game things in it. I'll try to be as vague as I can, but hopefully those who have played Stanley Parable will know what I'm talking about. I remember how to do it. Don't quite remember what it was, so please no spoilers, but yeah. I shall do that maybe today? I'm not sure. Maybe. Right, okay, so the
all of his
escape
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my fan in the background, because like the fan of my computer, because my computer is right next to me, and it's either have a microphone that kind of glitches out at high volume, or have this little beauty who is perfectly fine at high volume, and works really well, but picks up my PC. I could stop it from picking up my PC, but that would mean enabling mic sound suppress or something. I don't know what it is, but what it does is it mutes the microphone when you're not speaking, and that is very frustrating. Believe me. So, right. Okay, so left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is so weird as well, because I've got headphones, so I'm so used to having something coming from either one side or the other.
There was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might find an up coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But yeah, instead of having it on either side, I've got it right in between.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him?
Symbol!
What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known that. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Apparently my sign doesn't help.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Yes, I did, Mr. Narrator. Woo! Let's do this! Also, if you have any games you want me to play, please do post them in the comments below. I'm always willing to play
Descending
things.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now? when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yeah, and also, please, nothing over, say, 15, 12. And, yeah, you send me, if you just say the name, then I will look through my library. Hopefully I already have it. If I don't, then I'll look and see, and if it costs money, I'm afraid I won't be able to do it until, you know, if I can, like, live off YouTube, then I'll be able to use my YouTube earnings in order to actually do that. So, also, it might be...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Also, it might be quite hard to hear me here because there's, like, some weird engine in the background, so, yeah.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Don't believe you.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nope.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okay. Well, that looks ominous. Let's do it! Whew, that was loud. Kinda. Thank you, loading. Oh, that was odd. Oh. What?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Oh! Wow! I wasn't expecting that.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Got a point.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
That's
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Also, pause if you want to read these signs. Wow. So what? Is this like a museum? Oh, it's credits! Thank you for these people. These lovely people, and especially Kevin Brighting. Kevin Brighting. You are awesome. Please do more voice acting things, because you are epic. I also am going to turn down the volume. That should be... yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's move on. So, we have the freedom ending. Very first... exactly like a museum. This is really odd.
It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad. But of course, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy.
It's like what it is in my head every time I lie down, and it's very quiet. There's just voices. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear anything in my house because Town forgot to close the door, I'm afraid, but that should be fine. Should be okay. Oh! Oh, okay! Yay! Aww. Monitor room elevator. Okay. Fair enough. Wow. So here's game design mock-up. Don't know what that means. I would read that, but kind of short on time. Wow, so these were left to right. So that was the first office. That was the second office. That was the third office. Wow. He had two computers. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. I have one computer, but it's got two screens, so pretty epic. The Stanley Parrot.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Okay.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Okay, I'm beginning. What happens if I go back again? I'm interested now. What happens if I go back? Will she be like, oh, thank you for doing that, or will she just be the same? I expect she'll be the same. I think she'll be the same. I'll try it sometime in my own free time, and I'll tell you if it has any difference the next time I do this. If I remember. I should. I hopefully should. Also, just remember. I got a fan! That's really loud, actually. Turn that off.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was right, wasn't it? We had to do the secret. So if you do end_remove on this door, you can walk in and find this. Now, I did not know this was here. I don't know if this is an actual ending that I'm not supposed to be able to go to. That's a good point. I may not supposed to be able to go through here. But I don't think it's finished because of how I've tried going all the way down. Nothing happens. Quite a long time ago, and I tried all of these doors too. I don't remember anything significant. It's quite a while ago I tried all of these. As you can see, if I hit Shift and Tab, I've got the Go Outside achievement. Let's be honest, I did just cheat with that. I literally just changed my clock so it gave me it, but I mean, come on, this game's so good. I'm not gonna not play it for 5 years, especially now it actually works on my computer. It broke on my old one. I'm so glad it does though. I do love it. It's brilliant. How far does this go? I hope the next one's the last one. 760. Ah. Yeah, the reason I don't think this is finished is because what happens here. This opens, then that happens. It just puts a white bar at the bottom of your screen. That's all, and then it loads. I think it restarts. if I remember correctly. Pretty sure. Yeah. So, I don't know what that's about. It's kind of eerie.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is
well,
this Stanley's office?
I don't know. Is it? I'm pretty sure it's the right office. Is it? Also, wasn't this that one on the screen? No. Oh. Odd. What it was. Also, cool things you can do is to, like that. Oh. Oh wow, that's glitchy. Oh. Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't need to do that. To be honest. Can I see down to that end? Maybe. Yeah, I can. Only just. Wow, they put a lot of effort into making this look real. That is so... Can you hear that? Why can I hear a noise here? Oh. Is there something up here? Very old. It's gone now. That's strange.
When Stanley came to a set of two open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ah, actually, I've got an idea. Yeah, I'll take
And so
it first.
he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
There's something I remember.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
There is another option down this way. I knew there would.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
I think
No,
so.
Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
Paradox.
the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be?
Ooh, plot twist.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Wow. That was strange.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wow. So, was that the insanity ending, I guess? Also, go back to where he closed his eyes, and I want you to get your phone or device, an iPad or something, plug some headphones into it or earphones or something, put them on, lie down in your bed and listen, because that's what I was trying to do there. I was kind of lying down and it felt quite nice, to be honest, until he started screaming. But yeah, that was quite nice, gotta say. Yeah, so anywho, next time I'll be going down the right door corridor thing, because yeah, I don't know how many endings there are down there, but I know there's a lot of endings in this game, so hopefully, I'm pretty sure I've done everything to the left, so hopefully it should be different. I hope. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy. Please do leave a like and subscribe and comment any thoughts you have on the game, the channel, or just the world in general, anything you want really. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Have a nice day, and goodbye.